What up, y'all? Thank y'all for voting for the different outfits and stuff like that. And also, like, DM me if y'all see any pieces that y'all like or things that y'all want me to order to sell or whatever. Send those to me so that I know what y'all like. It seemed like the Popeye shorts, people wanted the Popeye shorts and the one that said groceries. So those are my favorite too. I think the votes was like 60-30 on the Charmin shorts, so we're not gonna get the Charmin ones, even though I think they're cute. I like the colors, but y'all didn't like them, so we're not gonna get those ones. But send me any pieces that y'all want me to order, and I'll get those, and we'll be restocked again shortly. Unfortunately, they sell out really quick. So, you know, I'm sorry for anybody who like missed out, but like the day I post them, you gotta get on there and buy them because them should sell out quick. Today we're doing a leg workout. Remember, it's gonna be not a whole bunch of different exercises, but everything's gonna be superset, and it's gonna be 4 sets each. Loaded heavy though too, so we're gonna go from heavy and drop set down to like a lighter weight, you know what I'm saying? So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna start off with leg extensions over there, hamstring curls, 4 sets, heavy, moderate. Leg extensions, superset, hamstring curl. Then we're gonna move on to a box squat over here, heavy box squat. Superset with a dumbbell deadlift. So when I say heavy, that's relative because there's not one weight that's heavy. So, you know, 100 pounds may be heavy to one person, and to another person it's light. For me, 100 pounds would be light, but for the next person, it's a heavy weight. So it's all relative. So a lot of people ask me like, oh, so what weight should I use? It's not what weight you should use. It's a weight and rep range. So if you're lifting a weight and you're between 8 to 12 reps, which is hypertrophy rep range, which is hypertrophy meaning muscle building. So if you're in a hypertrophy rep range and you get to the 12th rep and you're just breezing through it, or just breezing through it, that means the weight's too light. That means you're not in the proper weight range for what you're trying to accomplish. That means that you're not going to be building the muscle that you want to build because you're lifting too light. So by the time you get to like your 8th rep, 9th rep, you should be like really feeling it and starting to struggle with it. That's how you know you're just about in the proper rep range if you don't take the time to max out. The easiest way to do it is just to max out, see what your best rep max would be, but if you don't have time to do it, that's another way to tell whether or not you're in the proper weight range for what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. If your goal is more or less just toning and weight loss and things like that, then you want to stay in a rep range of 15 reps or more. 15 to like 30, 15 to 50. I've done 50 reps when I'm on the leg press and stuff like that. So that's unlimited, but it's more of a cardio endurance training rep range. 15 plus is where you want to stay. So you should be able to sustain whatever weight you're doing for that many reps, at least 15. When you get to rep 15, you still should be able to go. If your goal is just to build strength, power, explosiveness, then you want to stay in a 1 to 3 rep range. So the weight should be almost your max 95% of your max weight. You should up to your max. And that means you'll only be lifting 1 to 3 reps. You're building power, explosion. It's not necessary enough reps and things like that to build, pack on muscle and things like that, even though you will build muscle, but you want to be in a hypertrophy rep range. Time under tension equals growth. So you really need to be in a hypertrophy rep range in order to build muscle. But if you're trying to build power, explosion, all those things, you're training like you're an athlete or something like that, then strength training rep range works. So there's different rep ranges depending on what you're trying to accomplish, and people don't always understand that. They just go in there and do 10 reps and they're using 10 pounds and they think they're accomplishing something, but they're wondering why their muscle's not growing. That's because you're in 10 pounds. Just because you're doing 10 reps doesn't mean that you're building anything. That's not enough weight to stress your muscle enough to grow. Your muscle fibers are locked in like this, but when you're lifting weights, you're essentially opening up the muscle fibers. You're shredding, tearing the muscle fibers. And then when you go and take your protein and all that stuff into your body, you're rebuilding the muscle fibers. And when you rebuild the muscle fiber, it essentially thickens the fiber. It's like a scab almost, like the best way to like relate it. So you pull off, I have one right here. You pull off a scab or whatever, that's when you're opening up the muscle fiber, but then you put your Neosporin on or whatever you do, and it starts to heal, and when you heal a scab, it thickens. And that's the same thing it's doing to the muscle fiber, it's thickening the fiber, and that's how you make the muscle bigger and bigger, and you just repeatedly do it over and over. And that's why I try to tell y'all, like, people are like, oh, spitting on myself. That's sexy. People are like, oh, can I train legs every single day? But you can't train a muscle group every single day because, like I said, it's a fiber and you're essentially shredding it open. So if you train them every day and don't give the 24 to 48 hours for them to heal and go back together, then it's just open. So you're essentially keeping the muscle fiber open, open, open. It's never healing and thickening and getting bigger. So you can't train them back to back. You have to allow that 24 to 48 hours for that muscle to heal, grow, thicken, and then do it all over again. So you have to allow those days between your training days in order for that to happen. Now, if you're just training to lose weight or whatever, blah, 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 then none of that matters. Then do whatever you want to do. You can train legs until you're blue in the face. Don't expect them to grow, but you can train them because you're really just training to sweat and to burn calories and all that other stuff like that. Totally different situation. But if your goal is to grow, then you have to allow recovery, sleep, and all those things because your body produces growth hormones while you are sleeping. And that's why I tell your muscles are not growing while you're working out. And so people look and they're like, well, when I work out, I look bigger or whatever. That's called a pump. That's because your body is forcing blood into that muscle. So after the workout, yeah, you might have a nice little pump so your legs look all thick. So it's like, oh yeah, pose for a picture, you know, boom, boom, my legs are all like bopping and stuff like that after a workout. But that's not growth. That's just blood. That's going to dissipate after a while if you sit down and all this stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So your muscles grow while you are sleeping. So you need to take your ass to sleep, recover, let those muscles and all that juices, get that protein in your body, let it bind to those muscle fibers, let it thicken those muscle fibers, and then do it all over again, do it all over again, do it all over again, do it all over again. And that's how you grow. And I keep telling people you have to gain to gain. So that one post I put up of my client, and so she was really small in the beginning, but then she put on more weight. That's because she put on muscle. But when you're gaining muscle, you're also going to gain fat. So people always want to say, well, you know, I'm trying to make my butt bigger, but I want my waist to be smaller. But those two things don't go together either. You have to understand that to gain, you have to gain. So you have to go through a period where you're putting on gains, where you're in a caloric surplus, you're building the muscle, taking all that in. So you are going to get a little more fluffy here, and things are not going to be as tight as you want them to be. But then after you put on the desired amount of muscle that you want to put on, that's when you turn around and do the cutting process. And that's when you cut. You drop down into a caloric deficit, you change your diet up. And so a lot of people change their rep range and everything to more of an endurance training rep range when they're trying to cut up and stuff. I don't necessarily do that. I still lift heavy to moderately heavy even though I'm in a caloric deficit because I want to retain the muscle that I have. That's just what works best for my body. I still want to retain my muscle, but while losing fat in other places. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I like to continue to lift heavy so that I can accomplish both because I don't want to lose my gains in the process. You know what I'm saying? So that's what works for me. Everybody's body is different though, so there's no one way to do it. You have to test it. And when you're testing out different like training methods and stuff like that, you gotta try it out for 2 to 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it 1 week and be like, oh, I'm not getting results, nothing's happening, because you haven't tried it for long enough. So you have to give it time to work, because stuff does not happen overnight, especially not muscle growth. That takes time. Okay? So anywho, I just said, and tell you the rest of the workout. So next is gonna be box squat with heavy dumbbell deadlifts. After that, for her, we're gonna do the inverted leg press. So on the Smith machine, y'all know the one where I'm like upside down and like that position right here, and you're pressing up like this because there's no leg press machine in here. That's the best way to simulate a leg press here. And I'm gonna superset that with good mornings for her. Hit the hamstring, so we're going back and forth between quad and hamstring. So I hit the hamstring, good morning, boom. You can kind of do this on the Smith machine, but I'm probably gonna do it with a free bar. And then for him, well, I don't even know where he's at. Bulgarian split squat. So for him, I'm gonna hit the quads. I'm gonna go here. Bulgarian split squat. Gonna be dumbbell. I like to sit back in mine. You can lean forward, but I like to sit back in mine. And then calf raises, because his calves are like one thing that he's focusing on. I can't see me. And then at the end, we're gonna burn out with the walking lunge. So I'll get the dumbbell, heavy dumbbells, and just walk it out. Probably walk the whole length of the hallway. Back, 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 back. See, I get excited about working out. It makes me very happy. So anywho, that's the workout for today. And hit me up with anything you want me to order, add to the website, things that you like, or what have you. Well, probably get those Popeye shorts and those grocery shorts, because you gotta eat the booty like groceries. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, guys. I love you. Y'all have a fucking fantabulous fucking day. I got work to do.